Sometimes it's easy to forget about the true power of community sport.
It's not always about the wins and losses. This is a club built by the community, for the community.
Welcome to 1 week at a time.
We came to Bridgewater, Gagebrook, Herdsmans Cove mainly because of the void in sport. 6,000 or 7,000 people and lots of young families and no sporting club. It's sort of a bit bizarre in the Tasmanian context.
I guess the idea for BGH Breakers really came, when I was working at AFL Tasmania with Scott, and we used to have quite a lot of, sort of philosophical discussions about the role of sport. We often talked about, what about communities that don't have access to sport?
When I was in primary school myself, I lived in a police house around the road. My father is a police officer, and we lived there for just over 3 years. So I know the Herdsmans Cove community really well.
Being a teacher, how have you seen kids and sport and that the importance of sport within schools and the community?
Sporting clubs and just playing organised sports is so important for the people that get to do it. Unfortunately, playing sport is a privilege, and there's communities all around Australia. The Bridgewater, Gagebrook and Herdsmans Cove are part of that don't have a sporting club to play for. My grandfather played football for the Bridgewater Football Club, and most people in these three communities wouldn't know that Bridgewater had a football team once. So we learn so much. I'm so lucky in my life to have grown up playing football and basketball and cricket and meeting some really good mates that I'm still friends with today, but also learning things about myself and little lessons along the way that sport offers that.
Sport's only ever been measured on participation, whereas we think it should also be measured against, mental health, physical health, social wellbeing, employment, education. There's a whole bunch of sort of broader health and wellbeing measurements that should be connected to sport, and they're not. So we're trying to do something about that.
The BGH Breakers model that we're using, it's not one club for one sport, it's one club for all sports, and then driven by what the community wants to do. So if we get a group of kids and they say they want to play soccer, well, we'll start doing soccer. We
spoke to the communities and we got their buy-in, and netball was a clear winner in terms of joining competition and getting kids playing as soon as possible.
None of the kids that we've had start have in netball have played netball before, so it was really starting at basics. It's catching and throwing and learning the rules of the game. Like we've had had some shockers at the early doors of teaching the rules mid-game, but that's a really great learning opportunity for kids to realise that they can do it. That these are things that are not beyond them.
Our first year, we had a team of girls that had never played netball in their life before, and they ended up winning the grand final that year. And they had so much fun, and we saw how nervous they were when they went outside their community and outside their comfort zone, and how they sort of went back into their shell, and we had to sort of encourage them to keep going. You sort of go back to the beginning of the season when, not everyone was turning up at the game on time, and people didn't know what to bring to training. And I think one week we had a girl, forgot her sneakers. Really hard to play netball without shoes. Just seeing that they had learnt so much, and from the very first game the first training session that they turned up to, where everyone's just sort of standing around, and most of them had never really even handled a netball, to that grand final weekend, they were out on the court leading their own warm-up session. They were, giving themselves, beautiful little comments at, during the quarter time breaks about, oh, you're doing a really good job with this, or, oh, when you got that goal, that was amazing. In the grand final, they were, I think, in netball, kids netball, they were sort of 9 goals down, I think, at three-quarter time. They got up and won the game, and it was sensational. So we saw the joy of, I don't know, it was Division 4 or something of netball, the joy that it brought the participants, but the joy that it brought their families and their friends, and that's the exciting opportunity we've got, is to create that sort of team culture within the community, and that will have many benefits to the community beyond sport.
What has been your favourite memory so far, or favourite moment?
I think it's the personal growth of the kids that have been involved, and just sort of seeing them develop confidence, but develop skills, develop interpersonal relationships.
You've got no formal facilities. How do you go about that through the partnerships with the schools?
I think there is enough assets in the community. There's school facilities, there's other community facilities around the place, and we figure that we can make do with what's available, for the interim. But our real focus is on about getting rid of barriers to participation for the kids that we're working with. We don't charge registration fees for our players, so that means we find that money from other places. We've been really lucky. We've had some really great support from Netball Tasmania, Brighton Council. They've really supported us. They've supported us from the very beginning. We were having conversations with the mayor and the general manager, before we even had teams.
In a community, I think it's about 6,000 people live in this area. What do you hope for the sort of future? Do you hope to grow it and get as many people playing as possible?
I think the one thing that would be great is kind of looking after kind of the health and well-being of the communities, making sure that's paramount to any sporting organisation, making sure that people are healthy and happy. So there's that. But how great would it be if 50 to 80% of kids in this area are playing sport, organised sport, learning to play with others, learning different things along the way. I think that's what would be great for us.
We're pretty excited by the opportunity. It's a long haul project.
Yep.
We'll be here for the next decade or two.
At the end of the day, we want to be able to hand this club over to the community. That will be when we know we've really made it.
Sport, when you go into the locker room, you put your training gear on and you're all the same. It's about team and it's about equality.
Hi BGH Breakers, it's Steph Fretwell here from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. I love that you are all learning and having so much fun playing netball. Everyone in your community, I am sure, would be so proud of every single one of you. So keep up the great work, keep having fun, because that's what it's all about.
We hope you enjoyed the BGH Breakers story, proudly brought to you by Aussie Broadband's Helping Communities Connect program.
An easy way to save money for your club with a discounted internet connection on Aussie's award-winning network and access to other fundraising opportunities.
You can apply on behalf of your organisation by searching Helping Communities Connect on the Aussie Broadband website and sign up online. Or you can give the friendly Aussie-based team a call.
Hopefully, we'll be telling your club story soon.